Thank you everyone, and I welcome again. Throughout this presentation, we encourage you to interact with our speakers by typing in your questions, comments using the questions pane. We will try to answer as many questions as possible in our Q&A session, which is immediately after the presentation. So good morning and good afternoon. First of all, on behalf of Harbinger Systems, a warm welcome to all of you. I am Mandar Kulkarni, Marketing Manager at Harbinger Systems, and your host for today. I am pleased to welcome to the webinar, Internet of Things, Driving the Next Decade. To begin with, let me introduce our speakers for today's session. We have Anjani Kumar Shukla, General Manager, Business Development at Harbinger Systems. His focus and approach is always to visualize future and what's needed to get there for both, the customers, partners, and our organization as well. So, and we have the second panelist joining us, Mahesh Kumar Kharade. He's an associate architect at Harbinger Systems. Mahesh comes with 7 years of experience in design, development, and of enterprise systems across multiple domains like healthcare, retail, e-learning, business intelligence. And he has worked on multitude of challenging projects with technologies ranging from JavaScript frameworks, UI libraries, PHP, and many more. So without further ado, I hand over the presentation to Anjani. Over to you, Anjani.
Thank you so much, Mandar, and thank you so much for the kind introduction you did for me. Thank you everyone who has joined us over the GTM for this session. So I'll try to cover as many things as possible. I've been following Internet of Things for last couple of years, and I've attended a lot of conferences as a speaker, as a participant, and keep on writing some or the other blogs on it. Actually, I'm fascinated by it. It is not part of my role as such, but it is an interesting topic, and when my marketing team came up with this idea, we thought, let us share it with everybody who's interested in it. So it will be more of a collective experience sharing and learning through this session, and I'm sure that even after this session, the thread will continue with your question and answers and comments, and we can keep in touch. So as you can see on your screen right now, this is what we have thought of the agenda for today. So right from starting with IoT or Internet of Things, what it is, why it is significant, as well as touching base upon the early adopters of IoT. We will also see what it holds for the IT industry or the technology people like us. So we will be talking about the role of a software services companies in it, who are the active players as of today, the specifications which are currently being used by IoT and how those specifications might change in the future. We will also see the impact of IoT as far as cloud computing is concerned, as well as big data and the analytics part of it is concerned. So we are trying to relate IoT with the cloud part of it, as both the things are important, and at the same time all these things are big enough to be spoken about, and I'm sure they definitely have a relationship between them. So we are going to talk about the impact of IoT on cloud, big data, and analytics. And we will also share some new solutions in businesses which are under development, and this is based on our lot of research done by a team out here, and they have come up with the concrete surveys and the conclusions based on those surveys, and we are just going to share that. So let me just set the stage and let me bring all of you on the same platform. We are trying to give you the business aspect of IoT, as well as we are also going to give you an outlook on how it is going to impact the technology part of it. And we will also try to, and I'm talking on behalf of me as well as Mahesh, we will try to give our 2 cents to this entire discussion and all the points which we are going to discuss here. So I think the big question is, how big is IoT? Now, I'm sure many of you might have seen Gartner reports and Cisco and IDC and many more research firms. They have said IoT as the next big thing. I fully agree to that, and if you see the numbers which are displayed on your screen, you will see that yes, in 2003 we were talking about 500 million devices, and in 2010 the devices were more than the people around. So rather that number was crossed in 2008 itself. And in the near future, this is all based on the prediction, but in by 2015 we are expecting a growth of around 25 billion connected devices, and which will lead to a 50 billion connected devices by the year 2020. Now, market forecast and all these reports may vary, but for sure they are all indicating one common thing, and that is a big growth potential as far as Internet of Things is concerned. And the entire session will be based on how big it could be and how it will be big. Both the questions we will try to address, and we will prefer if you can share your views on the same. So whether it is a 40 billion or 40 to 50 billion devices in between year 2017 to 2020, I am saying that Internet of Things will be bigger than what Internet was. And mark my words, if Internet was big enough and it was challenging enough and it was fascinating enough, and we have seen Internet growing, with the amount of things happening in Internet of Things, I'm sure it will be bigger than the Internet. So, what makes it a $1 trillion opportunity? Now, there are a couple of things out here. So, we are just trying to give you a breakup of how and what predictions, and based on these predictions, how we are saying it is a $1 trillion opportunity. The market and the surveys are saying that the home automation itself will be around 400 billion by 2020. Similarly, the healthcare applications will be around 50 billion, and the usage of Internet of Things in industries and infrastructure will be generating almost a combined revenue of around 500 billion. See, the Internet gave us the opportunity to connect in ways we could have never dreamt possible. So, and it is still evolving. I'm not saying that Internet is totally done. It is still evolving, and it is giving us various ways and means of connecting with things and people across the globe. Now the Internet of Things will take us beyond the connections part itself. So Internet was all about connections. But as far as Internet of Things is concerned, it will be beyond the connections, and it will be making us a part of a living or a moving global digital nervous system. I am sure whether you are an individual or an IT specialist or a technology developer or even an adopter of these technologies, the Internet of Things will stretch the boundaries of today's system. So through this session, we are just trying to see, are we geared up, are we ready, are we prepared for the changes in the way we will learn or work and innovate and communicate in the future. One thing I would like to mention here is, I know it is a $1 trillion opportunity, but I personally feel that it will be possible only if we come up with cheaper technologies and smaller devices. That is going to drive us to this $1 trillion market. Moving on to the next slide, and we are going to talk about what is IoT. I'm sure most of you are already aware of it. You might have heard about it. You might be knowing the various definitions that are available in the market. Because it is an ocean, it is a huge thing. Most of the people would like to define, and they are defining Internet of Things in their own ways. I have just put a couple of slides out here which will give you some definitions, and that is, I feel, is very close to the actual Internet of Things. So people are referring it and choosing to call it smart systems or M2M or machine to machine or the Internet of Things. So whatever we are calling it, basically we are referring to the digital microprocessors and sensors which are embedded in the everyday objects, which will soon become the part of our life, which will soon become the part of our entire ecosystem. There are various other names, and this is very funny, and I like this. Many of them are calling it machine to machine, which was coined, of course, by the industry. D to D, again, device to device. Internet O, Thinternet, connected devices, connected hardware, smart home, connected home, smart products, and accessories. So this is one of my favorites. It is a combination of applications and accessories, making it accessories. So that's good. From my perspective, this phenomena is not just about people communicating with people. It is not only machines communicating with machines. It also includes somewhere people communicating with machines or vice versa. The machines telling something or predicting something or indicating something to human. So smart connected systems are a technical and economical phenomena, and potentially billions if not trillions of nodes, and internet of infinite interactions and values. This is powerful, people. This is powerful. Transformative concept known as the Internet of Things. So let's explore what it is and let's see what it holds for us. So the next question will come, why is it so significant? Why this growth? Why everybody is talking about Internet of Things? What they are seeing in this Internet of Things? So what we have done is we have tried to see why Internet of Things is here to stay. And if you see, Internet of Things is giving us the dynamic control of industry and our daily life. It is actually improving our lives. So this has always been our dream and this has always been our desire, how we can improve our life, how can we simplify our life, how can we ensure that things are done when the things are done. And Internet of Things definitely has that potential of giving that. So Internet of Things, if you see, basically what it is doing is, it is talking about resource efficiency. It is talking about energy conservation, which we have been talking about for last 2 decades. It is also talking about dynamic control, right? So all these things are the must-haves of any solution or any new thing which is getting introduced in the market, getting introduced in the society. One thing is evident, the Internet's most profound potential lies in the integration of smart machines, people, and the systems. So if you see, just giving some example of the dynamic control, smart parking, and I'm sure most of you are aware of this concept. So smart parking, if we just take this as an example, we can reduce the carbon to emission by 400 tons in a city like Barcelona, and we are not saying that we are making the parking time to 0. We are saying the average parking time right now is 15 minutes. Even if we can reduce it by 20% and make it 12 minutes, that is a reduction of 3 minutes, we are going to save our environment getting polluted by 400 tons. Imagine if this could be done across the world's most populated cities. Can you imagine how much carbon emission we are reducing? Anyhow, there are a few more examples here, and I'm sure that they are self-explanatory. But improving the quality of life. Most of the developed countries are having all the sufficient requirements, resources which are needed to ensure a good quality of life for individuals. Think about countries which are underdeveloped or countries which are developing. All the resources, all these services are in scarce. Can you imagine if we are able to reduce the hospitalization time of a patient from 7 days to 3 days? The extra bed which will be generated can be given to some other patient who needs it. Most of the operations, most of the treatments are critical in the first 3 days. The remaining 3 days is just to monitor whether the patient is recovering well or not, and the doctors cannot take a risk of discharging them or letting them go home. So they want to keep them under their supervision. It is for the benefit, it is for the betterment of the patient. But just imagine if the doctors and the systems are capable of monitoring the patients which are not in a critical health, sitting in their homes, and still they are assured that the doctors are continuously monitoring them, and if the case needs, they will immediately take some action. Imagine how it can improve the quality of life for the people who really want that. Okay, so we are moving on to the next slide. Before we move on to the next slide, I would just like to say that Internet of Things, a couple of things which we didn't mention on the screen, I'm saying that it is also going to give you a better interaction between human and nature. We can avoid disasters, we can better the healthcare part of it, and we can also have personalized service. And we'll be talking about all these 3 things in the forthcoming slides. So I'm just cutting short on my description here, and we will move on to the next slide. And the next slide is talking about the early adopters of Internet of Things. Now, yes, we can move on to the next slide, please. Right. So the Internet of Things will have a significant impact on nearly every industry. So though we have highlighted 5 or 6 odd industries here which have shown early signs of adoption, but my view is that none of the industries, none of the verticals, none of the domains, none of the people and none of the cities and societies will be left behind, and they will all be adopting some or the other part as far as Internet of Things is concerned. So let's talk about home or building automation. Talking about HVAC or the heating and ventilation and cooling controls, lighting controls, smart bulbs. We have already seen companies like Philips and coming up with Hue bulbs and things like that. There are other companies also who are the early adopters, and they have already started promoting, selling and showcasing their solutions in the market. So I mean, definitely it will with the emerging market, it will open up new business models as well as new products will come in the market. There will be a lot of synergy which will happen between the existing markets and the new leaders, innovators. But yes, I mean, monitoring and feeding and caring for home pets and plants, I think this is already getting resolved by IoT. So my take will be that the early adopters definitely home automation, building automation will definitely be there. Automotive, and I'm sure most of you might have heard the latest things. CarPlay launched by Apple is one of those steps on the path of Internet of Things, and I'm sure that most of us will, not most of us, everybody who is driving a Daimler Chrysler or a Mercedes will definitely be getting benefited out of that. It might take some time for other brands to adopt that, but I'm sure they will not be leaving behind any, or they will not leave any stones unturned, and they will adopt this. So automotive is the second thing, and I would say technically business models based on proven efficiency and cost saving will see the most growth. So that will be my take on this, be it infrastructure, be it mobility, be it consumer. Any business which will showcase the proven efficiency, which will ensure that things are done in a better way at a much economical cost or in a much economical way in a tried and tested environment, I'm sure they will have a market open for themselves. So as far as the healthcare and the health, I just spoke about the remote patient monitoring, and it's a very, very clear indication that yes, most of the developing economies and the underdeveloped economies will be welcoming these type of solutions based on Internet of Things with open arms, because it is going to give them real benefits. It is going to give their people the real benefits. And retail is not far behind. Retail is already doing a lot of things. We have seen from the ages of RFIDs and barcode scanners and everything, they are getting much and much more smarter. Smart vending machines are getting launched. Digital retail stores are getting launched. And all these things are part of the big ecosystem of Internet of Things. Apart from that, manufacturing will be another area. Though there are not much examples to cite, but I'm sure that things like a factory visibility, where what is happening on the factory floor can be directly communicated to the enterprise-based systems or the ERPs and to the decision makers. Just imagine if that could be made possible, how fast the decisions could be and how fast the things could be changed and new things could be adopted. So that was what we were talking about, the early adopters of IoT, and of course the energy management, anything which is something to do with the energy management part, be it conservation of energy, be it making more efficient use of energy. I think that will be one of the interesting or interested areas for most of the industrialists. I'm sure you are aware of this fact that in many industries the energy is the second largest operating cost. And just imagine if we can reduce that operating cost, which is like almost second largest, that will convert into direct profit for those organizations. And that is why I'm sure that energy management, and very soon you will see a lot of new solutions for the energy management will be introduced in the market. So that is all on the early adopters of IoT. Anyhow, we'll be sharing this. And then there are a lot of sub points which we have mentioned under each of these categories, be it health or body, patient care, elderly monitoring, remote diagnostic, and likewise we have showcased a lot of solutions which are though in the initial stages, but they are already there. So now this slide brings us to the next slide, which is the role of a software services companies. I'm not sure how many of the attendees or the people who are present for this session are having the background working with a software services company or owning a software services company. For sure, I know few of the attendees personally, and I know that they are running their own software companies, providing services, providing products to the industry, and I have tried to cover a few points for them in this slide. So I would say that getting all the segments of the IoT to communicate and work together will be the key to the success of any technology rollout under the Internet of Things. Though it sounds very different, but let me be very open and be very frank. The moment, see, we are talking about sensors, we are talking about microprocessors, we are talking about intelligence, artificial intelligence and everything. As far as a software engineer is concerned or a software developer is concerned, the part which will come to him will be basically ensuring that his lines of code or the lines of code which he has written is effective enough and efficient enough to talk to various things. They will be having the pipe set, they will be having the APIs or protocols to interact with hardware, sensors, or whatever type of devices we are connected to. But these are the basic things which will ensure what will be the role of a software engineer in this entire thing. So enabling the features and capabilities required to build IoT, of course, that will be one of the major roles of the IT community as a whole. Enabling the underlying end-to-end interaction. When I was talking about a lot of data getting shared between one machine to another, it will require a lot of logical code to be written, a lot of efficient code to be written, and that will be coming in the kitty of software developers like us. Then bridging the gap between the networks and controllers, or ensuring that that devices operate in a reliable and robust manner. Imagine thousands of sensors, thousands of nodes continuously sending or receiving data. Imagine the efficiency required for that. Imagine the controls which are required for that. All these things will be taken care of while writing a program, while writing a system, while writing a solution, because that is going to give the confidence to the user, that is going to give the confidence to the adopters of these solutions or technologies, the industry, that yes, this is a reliable, robust solution and it is a tried and tested solution. So these will be few of the roles of software developers. Enables each person to use the device and interface of their choice. Just think, today when we are talking about any new application or new product getting launched or getting promoted, there are so many disclaimers attached to it. It will work on iOS only. It will work with a particular device. It will work with a particular form factor. If you want it to run across the platforms, you have to do these customizations, these changes. So everything in totality is restricted to a particular environment. If the OS changes, the functionalities, the way the software is supposed to function, maybe it will change. If the browsers change, the form factors change, the UI changes, and a lot of problems. You cannot click it, you cannot do it. Imagine when we are talking about a solution which is based on the concept of Internet of Things, and let's take an example of smart parking. The moment I am in a range where I am looking for my car to be parked, I am 110% sure there will be no way to see whether I'm using an old J2ME based phone, or I'm using a smartphone, or am I using a tablet or something. The system that is giving me an alert, or the system that is giving me an information where is the parking slot available, that system should be capable of talking, interacting with any device, irrespective of the OS, irrespective of the size of the phone, the RAM of the phone, and any such environment which we normally face. So we have a very, very critical role to play, and visualizing where the world is going, visualizing what problems we might face, and then architecting a solution, guiding these innovators, guiding these people who are coming up with these ideas, and telling them, today it seems like a simple problem to solve, but think from the future perspective, and in the future perspective we'll have to take care of many such things. So these type of things will be coming in the picture. So I'm happy to say that the role of a software services company or the role of a software developer will be there. It will be as critical as it is today in coming up with any solution which is based on technology. Now let us talk about the active players, and they are not new to this. They are like known in the market, and most of us are aware of it. I just try to highlight that how Intel is, for example, playing a role in the Internet of Things, and likewise Cisco. So if you talk about Intel, we know that they are big in cloud, and they are having enabling end-to-end analytics part very clearly defined. They are building intelligent devices and creating systems of systems by connecting legacy devices to the cloud. So Intel is doing their part. Cisco, I would say, they also provide, apart from the regular things which we are aware of, they also provide industry-specific solutions that can improve the productivity and efficiency today, while laying the foundation for tomorrow's Internet of opportunities. So right now they are doing the foundation part, the basic part of the Internet of Things, and I'm sure they do have dreams of developing a network of Internet of Things based solutions on this foundation. Similarly, GE, we know that they are merging big iron with big data to create brilliant machines, and they are not leaving any stone unturned. SAP, they are offering an end-to-end IoT solution, including but not limited to integrated machine-to-machine platform and apps and connectivity and everything. Smart vending machine, one of the very popular product which is based on their SAP's HANA platform, is very much advertised, promoted, and admired by the people who are really interested in the Internet of Things. And similarly, we have Oracle, Freescale, IOBridge, ARN, Google. I know they are always in the news, and their recent acquisitions, right from acquiring artificial intelligence startups to Nest to Boston Dynamics and DeepMind, they are all indicating that something is happening as far as Internet of Things is concerned, and I think this is the silence before the big storm of Internet of Things which will just cover the entire market, and everybody is gearing up for the same. Apple recently launched the CarPlay, a wonderful thing. They have taken their Siri capabilities to a next level, and they have made it much more easier for a driver while on the road to make full utilization of the Siri capabilities, connecting it with a lot of additional features. I also hear that Apple is also experimenting with wearable technology, which I am very eagerly waiting for. So this is all about the players, the big players who are already in the market. And now let me give you a glimpse of IoT specifications. This is the technical part, and I would have preferred my colleague Mahesh to have taken that, but let me give it a shot because Mahesh is sitting next to me, and I have full confidence that in case if I fumble or mumble or jumble, Mahesh will come in and save me. So let's see what all specifications are playing a major role as far as Internet of Things is concerned. First of all, embedded operating system. Operating system being one of the most critical factors here, and when we are talking about the IoT specifications, the nuts and bolts for building the IoT ecosystem. We have listed a couple of operating systems, some open source, some proprietary, TinyOS, Contiki, and many more. They have already started gaining some traction in the market. People have started showing interest, and they have already started building solutions based on these operating systems. Apart from that, the next important thing will be the protocols. Though I'm not going in details of everything, so COAP or the Constrained Application Protocol if you are not aware, let me just share with you. It is basically a software protocol which is intended to be used in very simple electronic devices. So COAP basically allows these simple electronic devices to communicate interactively over the internet, and I mean, it is particularly targeting small low power sensors or switches or valves and similar components that need to be controlled or supervised remotely through standard internet networks. So this is, I think, will be one of the most sought after protocols in the initial days of Internet of Things. And apart from that, you can see the REST, and this is not the REST or the LAMP stack we are talking about. This REST is more of a representational state transfer, and it is predominantly a web API design model. I could just tell you in the shortest way, it is basically a web API design model. Then comes MQTT, which is the message queue telemetry transport. So again, open message protocol for machine-to-machine communications, and it enables or helps in the transfer of telemetry style data in the forms of messages from pervasive devices to high latency or constrained networks to a server or small message broker. And then comes the XMPP, the Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol. The next important component of Internet of Things will be the backbones like IPv6. So earlier it was IPv4, and most of us are familiar with IPv4. I think for the Internet of Things and the number of devices getting connected to each other, and the number of users and the billions of devices we are talking about, IPv6 seems to be a better option, and I'm sure that they will soon be coming up with IPv8 by 2017 or maybe before that, looking at the massive growth of these connected devices. So apart from that, UDP or the User Datagram Protocol is also there. UDP is, I would say, an alternative to TCP, and I was surprised when I was reading about this. Well, this is one of the oldest network protocols in existence. It was introduced in 1980, but somehow the TCP got more traction, more attention, and more popularity. But UDP will come back, and it will hit very hard in the context of Internet of Things. And then we have 6LoWPAN, that is the 6LoWPAN. It is more of an acronym for IPv6 over low power wireless personal area networks. So these are, I would say, the backbones, and IPv6 is already playing a major role. And then comes the IoT platform. So I mean, there are a bunch of communications or wireless communication standards which are there, and then the platforms. So communications, if you see, there are a bunch of them, and the main reason for this is that each of the producers or manufacturers of these devices or solutions are trying to promote their own communication style. They are getting hooked to a particular communication, and there are no standard communications which are available or no standard guidelines. So everybody is using the things which they are more comfortable using. As far as the platforms is concerned, I spoke about SAP HANA platform. Then we have Sensor Cloud. So SAP HANA, because it is very popular, so I know a bit about it, and I'm sure that it very quickly turns high volumes of data into real-time knowledge with an in-memory platform. So turning the high volume of data or the big data which is coming in into a real-time knowledge, I think that is what they are very heavily promoting. Sensor Cloud is there, and then ThingSpeak is there. and Ninja platform is there. Ninja platform is actually the platform which is used by Raspberry Pi. So the platform is Ninja, and based on that, Raspberry Pi has come up with a lot of solutions which are very low cost solutions, $150, $200, but they are getting a lot of traction and a lot of interest generation amongst the people. So this is all about, I know it was not a glimpse, but these are the things, the specifications which are gaining traction as far as the ecosystem called Internet of Things is concerned. Now moving on to the next thing, new solutions and businesses under development. Sorry, impact of the IoT on cloud computing, big data and analytics. This is where the time comes when I can take a break, and my colleague Mahesh will take over from here. I'll come back and I'll talk about few more things, but just to keep it less monotonous, we would like to invite Mahesh. Mahesh, it is all yours. Please continue.
Thank you, Anjani. So, as we are kind of trying to take a closer look at Internet of Things, I think it's equally important to keep eye on its impact on the technology front as well. So let's start with the cloud computing. I think the vision of IoT can be seen from two perspectives, internet-centric and thing-centric. So the internet-centric architecture is about internet services being the main focus, while the data is contributed by the objects. And in the object-centric or the thing-centric architecture, the smart objects take center stage. In here, the cloud computing has a part in internet-centric perspective through services like infrastructure, platform, or software, where the full potential of human creativity can be tapped. In order to realize the full potential of cloud computing, as well as this ubiquitous sensing, combined framework with the cloud at the center seems to be the most viable need at this point. This not only gives the flexibility of dividing associated costs in most logical manner, but it's also highly scalable. However, developing IoT applications using low-level cloud computing programming models and interfaces such as trade and MapReduce model is relatively more complex. To overcome this, we need a IoT application specific framework for a rapid creation of applications and their deployment on cloud infrastructure. So this application-specific framework in the cloud should be able to provide support for a few things. Like to start with, let's say the first one is reading data streams either from sensors directly or fetch the data from databases. Second part or the second requirement here is easy expression of data analysis logic as functions or operators that process data streams in a transparent and scalable manner on the cloud infrastructure. And third one is if any events of the interest are detected, outcomes should be passed to output streams which are connected to a visualization program. With such a framework in place, the developer of IoT applications will be able to harness the power of cloud computing without knowing the low-level details of creating reliable and scalable applications. So in my opinion, the confluence of mobile, cloud, and intelligent objects is the next great market opportunity for cloud providers. Just as with the mobile, we have seen the Internet of Things will depend heavily on the cloud for processing power, storage, and interconnectedness. To summarize about impact on the cloud computing, I think with so much data flowing in from potentially millions of different nodes, the diversity and the precision of the knowledge we have about the world is about to explode. And the cloud is the only technology that is suitable for filtering, analyzing, storing, or accessing that information in useful ways. Let us take a look at how it impacts the big data and the analytics aspects as well. So with IoT, I think big data is a way for innovation, and it will increasingly become the part of business models, thus enhancing the capability of industry to compete globally. As we have seen in the initial slides, Intel has already predicted that having 25 billion connected devices in the next few years is achievable. So the biggest question that comes is where the data will go when these devices connect, and how to make best use of this information. This will prompt the whole industry to grow around predictive analysis and raw data. Though the problem is not just about the big data. I think it's more of a mega big data. One of the differences between the big data and something that is coming up is the amount of data you'll need to sort, improve, integrate, analyze, as well as manage. All these devices constantly chattering updates about moisture, light, movement, and whatnot will create crazy amount of big data. Big data will help make companies smarter, more aggressive, and give them a business advantage. In fact, that millions of devices will soon be Wi-Fi enabled and will cause a flood of user data for companies to sift through. Businesses can use this data to understand where issues are happening on their products, how frequently they are happening, and the best resolution for those issues. But only if they have the means to analyze it. And analytic tools will not only help their customers offer best service efforts, but also inform improved product design or coming up with the new product launches as well as the performance improvement. I think that's where the analytics will become an integral part of the business process. So there is a need for new analytic solution which could harness big data from these thousands of sources. This type of, I think there is essentially a need for a predictive analytic solution which will be a norm, and companies will need to kind of incorporate tools that will inform and improve customer service engagement. Moving on, I have an interesting case study that I wanted you to quickly walk through. And this is basically a recent project that we have worked upon. This client has a Wi-Fi router kind of device which is there in the LAN as well as in the WAN, which kind of is a cable modem, it also operates in the 3G or 4G network. And these devices talk to gateways in the cloud, and all the devices and the gateways are monitored and managed from the cloud. The IT admins can use the cloud interface for multiple purposes, like configuration, troubleshooting, or monitoring the status of the device itself. We developed a mobile application here on the iOS and Android platform to aid the activation and overall monitoring of the device. The set of features those were supported were to kind of track and report the activations, get the settings and the diagnostic reports from the devices, also extract and display the logs from the devices, and then the push notification based operations which can be used to perform the different actions to troubleshoot the errors. And this diagram on the screen is what explains the overall flow of the information happening across multiple devices or the sensors that are involved. And I think it is a very good example on a short scale about what we are looking at from the technology perspective to kind of enable the IoT implementation. I think that with this, I'll hand it over back to Anjani.
Hey, thank you, Mahesh. I think it helped us in understanding the logic of Internet of Things and how it is connected to big data. And I think it also helped the audience to hear a different voice and break the monotony. While Mahesh was sharing his views and sharing his slide, we are really thankful to one of our participants of this session who reminded us that we missed IBM from the list of all the early adopters and the leaders in the market as far as IoT is concerned. We did not miss IBM. We were under the impression that IBM has created a lot of buzz already. Most of us are aware that they have around 2,500 smart city plans already in the process of getting implemented. They are already predicting the traffic jam which might happen in an hour's time based on the data it is gathering from various devices or connected cars in Rio and in Stockholm and California. So IBM was there and everybody knows, and the moment we talk about IoT in today's scenario, most of us relate it to IBM and the amount of things it is doing. IBM is also playing a very important role in one of the smart city projects, which is Songdo. Songdo happens to be the first smart city, and it is in South Korea. It is 70% complete, and Cisco and IBM, they are all party to it. It will soon have 65,000 plus residents living there, and it is talking about everything right from the smart waste disposal system to tele presence, to connected devices, to connected cities, to connected grids, smart grids and everything. So IBM was there, but thank you so much for reminding us about it. I'm sorry if somebody thought that we deliberately missed on IBM. No, we are a big fan of IBM and we have high hopes with IBM as far as Internet of Things is concerned. Now, new solutions and businesses under development. This is one of my favorite parts because this is where you get the creative brain of yours to start working, and you come up with stories and many such scenarios which are sort of hypothetical at times, and many times they are practically getting implemented or already got implemented. So I'm sure, and as I said, that IoT will definitely present many opportunities for various industry verticals, and it will bring new innovations to the businesses and the way we live and the way we interact. But one of the things, if you see, all the solutions are basically based on this simple value architecture. So though it looks like a bit complicated, let me tell you a simple way of reading it. The top line, which is the economic development or the sustainability or the higher quality of life, that is the goal of any smart city or any smart solution. So keeping those type of goals in mind, we will have to align the services which are marked there, be it the industries, be it the retail, be it the hospital, be it the management, be it the education. Everything will be aligned to reach the goals like economic development or the sustainability, or even to give a better quality of life. And how we can do that? We can do that if we are able to generate value in terms of helping the citizens and the stakeholders engagement, maybe predictability. So these are the type of things or services, if we are able to predict or provide, that is actually going to see a lot of value in terms of the users of that information. And what are the business imperatives of it? I mean, of course, the open data and the transparency part will come in the picture. How to manage the risk part will be taken care of. Increasing the productivity, providing better services, efficient services, and innovation will be one of the most critical things. Unless until we can visualize, imagine, innovate, find ways of making things simpler, it will be very, very difficult to achieve those goals which are listed on the top line. And as far as the enabling technologies is concerned, and whatever visibility we have as of today of the technologies available, I think big data and analytics will be utilized to the full potential for these Internet of Things applications. Mobility will be playing a major role. It is already playing a major role in all sorts of innovations, and I think going forward also, it will be one of the major players as far as Internet of Things applications and implementation is concerned. Social, yeah, the social network, the social media will definitely get affected by it and definitely will be a party to the entire thing. And cloud, because going forward when we are talking about millions of devices connected across the globe, across locations, I think cloud will be playing the most important role in all those things. So based on this value architecture, let us try to see what all things we have in terms of the new combinations which are emerging. Transportation and smart cities. So we are talking about smart car parks, we are talking about smart cities. Just imagine that you are going to downtown and you know that you have a doctor's appointment or you will be spending 2 hours, and the moment you reach around that area, automatically there will be alerts telling you about where there is a parking slot available to the nearest to the destination where you want to go, or a particular building or a particular office. You park your car there and you go to attend your appointment. While your car is parked there, another service provider, maybe your mechanic or maybe the car service engineer will get an alert. He will come, he will do the servicing of your car right there, check your oil, engine, everything, rectify the errors which your car is showing, and all these things are done without you making an extra trip to the car garage or maybe the mechanic coming to your house. So everything, just imagine how efficiently we can utilize your time. So there are many such examples, and it is very fascinating to read these examples and stories and solutions which are already being introduced in the market. My take is that initially the solutions that will be addressing the needs like the customers' privacy or customers' security, I think they will gain more acceptance in the market, because we don't know, we are not very confident how these Internet of Things will interact, and who will have a hidden agenda of misusing the data which we will be sharing, or misusing the data which will be automatically generated. And I think the early solutions or early products or earlier systems that will gain popularity will be the ones which are addressing the security and the privacy part of the users or the end users. So with this, we are coming to the last slide of ours, and this is where we have tried to conclude whatever we have, whatever knowledge we have gained and whatever we have seen and whatever we have experienced. So no doubt, there will be over 200+ billion connected devices, and demand for the IoT applications will, the IoT application development will skyrocket. But, and I'm repeating, there is a but attached to that, and the but is that all these skyrocketing demands will be facing a lot of roadblocks. They will have to remove the obstacles, and those obstacles or the barriers, as you can see on the screen, are the managing and fostering the rapid innovation. That could be a big challenge for the government. Privacy and security, I just spoke about it. Absence of governance, no standards, no protocols, no body to ensure that these things are in place have yet emerged. There are efforts getting or happening in bits and pieces and pockets, focusing on a specific domain or a specific vertical, but I think that it requires an industry-wide acceptance, and the entire big players, stakeholders should come on one platform and think of having one governing body which can ensure the smooth functioning, interaction, interfacing of all these devices. I think the same role which www did to internet, there has to be some body, some protocol like that needs to be introduced in the market. Interoperability, that will be another thing. Every organization, every big player is trying to promote their own standards. unless and until there is an impartial governing authority, it will be almost next to impossible to have a truly global Internet of Things. It will happen that the first mover advantage will be taken by some big player, and the rest will have to follow them. Somebody will try to break that monotony and they will introduce their own things, and that way we won't reach the goal of having a global Internet of Things unless and until each device, each solution is freely, without any hitches or glitches, they are able to interact with each other. So these will be major barriers or challenges to the growth of Internet of Things. And I was reading somebody's blog. I'm so sorry, I just forgot the name of that author, but few of the things are like embedded in my mind. I really like those things, and I'm sharing that here. That just connecting things is actually not the solution to all the problems. I am saying it is not even the solution to most of the problems. Just because of this wave of Internet of Things, you will see many products or ideas floating in the market which are dying unnatural deaths. Why? Because many of the innovators are trying to make dumb smart products. They are trying to come up with smart products, but eventually they happen to be dumb. One example is having an egg minder tray. Now, why will somebody spend almost $50 to buy an app and to buy a device or buy a tray which is going to tell you how many trays are left how many eggs are left in the tray, and you will have to take your mobile, connect it, take it to the sensor, and then see that. I would say, if I'm taking my device and reading the sensor which is attached to the tray, why can't I just see how many eggs are left? Is that big an issue? So I think thinking of solving real problems and not to find solutions first and then think of a problem to solve or problem that they might solve, it will be good if we will think of the problems which we are facing in our day-to-day life and will try to solve it with simple solutions. It need not be an Internet of Things based solution. Whenever I meet some startup or entrepreneur who is talking about some idea and talking about Internet of Things and shares his vision or his idea of a new product or a solution, the only thing I ask him is, have you tried solving the same problem without these connected devices? If the answer is yes, then it is okay. If he has not tried solving it without connected devices, without Internet of Things, I think that might not be accepted in the market. So with this, I think the best idea will be to make dumb products smart, and I'm very impressed by the idea of having smart garbage bins. Imagine a garbage bin sending a signal or an alert to the municipal corporations or people to come and collect the garbage once it is nearing its capacity. Maybe 70% full, it's trying to come and clear the garbage. That can save a lot of time, it can save a lot of fuel, it can save a lot of manpower. So, decent entrepreneurs fall in love with the technology and then they try to find a problem to solve. But the great entrepreneurs fall in love with the problem and find a technology to solve it. With this, I am open, and my colleague Mahesh is open to the question and answers. Just to give a quick note, there are the list of references which we have referred to. If you want more details, we can refer to any of these references, or you can even visit harbinger-system.com and check the blogs. That's all from my side. Over to you, Mandar.
Thanks, Anjani, and thank you for a great session. And I'm sure the audience too is pleased with such a rich and informative session. So we'll be taking some questions from the audience now. And just to remind you, if you have any queries, please type in your questions in the questions pane. And if due to time constraints, if we are not able to cover your questions in today's session, we will definitely send you the Q&A document covering the answers to all the questions that are raised today. So we have already received some questions, so we will take one by one. Okay. So first question is, as you mentioned, the IPv6. Okay. Why is IPv6 so significant for IoT to term it as a backbone for it?
So, Mandar, that question is for me or Mahesh? Okay.
You can decide.
Okay. So, let me give it a shot. I think I know something about this IPv6 and IPv4 connection. So, IPv6 or the Internet Protocol version 6 is the latest revision of the Internet Protocol or the IP. As I just shared with you in my deck of slides. Just to elaborate on that, see, basically every device on the internet is assigned or must be assigned an IP address. And that IP address is so unique that it helps in order to communicate with other devices. That is the thing which becomes a unique identification of that device. But with Internet of Things and with so many devices coming in picture and being part of the same system or ecosystem, with the ever increasing number of new devices being connected to the internet, the need arose for more addresses than IPv4 was able to accommodate. So IPv6 uses a 128-bit address, allowing approximately more than, I think, 7.9 into 1028 times as many addresses as IPv4. So IPv4 was basically a 32-bit addresses, right? So from 32-bit to 128-bit, just imagine the number of devices which can get a unique ID or an IP, and how using a single protocol almost many-fold or multiple number of devices could be connected. So that is why I think IPv6 will be gaining more popularity in the Internet of Things world. I am assuming, Mahesh, I have covered the answer, or would you like to add something?
I think you covered it well, Anjani.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so thanks, Anjani. So we have another question is, as a software service provider, what is the expertise I should be gaining or scaling with regards to IoT? So, Mahesh, would you like
Yeah, so Mandar was looking at me while asking this question, but I have very politely asked Mahesh to take care of this. Mahesh.
Sure. So I think as we have already mentioned in the webinar today, the standards and the protocols which are for the IoT are still evolving. And with that, I think now there's no kind of set of things that we can look at, but I have I think some of the key expertise that I can definitely share with you, which we can look forward to. And to tell you, I mean, these are not something that's new. It is something that already there. It just we need to kind of put our focus more onto. So I would say the first and the foremost thing is the understanding the new protocols. The protocols at the sensing end of the IoT will play a key role in complete realization. And they form the backbone for the data tunnel between the sensors and the outer world, and that's where it becomes extremely important to understand those to the depth and make sure those are kind of being used and understood to its kind of potential. The second important thing I think is data mining expertise, extracting useful information from a complex sensing environment at a different spatial and temporal resolution is a challenging research problem in the AI today. And the ultimate vision will be to detect complex events based on larger spatial and longer temporal scale. The resource constraint in sensor network create a novel challenge for deep learning in terms of the need for adaptive, distributed, and incremental learning techniques, where the data mining expertise will play a key role. And I think in one of the slides we also talked about the cloud computing, which is again another key factor, because as I said earlier, I mean, the cloud is the only technology that is suitable for kind of filtering, analyzing, storing, as well as accessing the information that in useful ways. And so in my opinion, I think the confluence of mobile, cloud, and this intelligence object is a great next market opportunity for the cloud providers as well.
Just want to add one thing. I mean, what you have said is very right. I was thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, when the IT industry started, that time also the key things were logical approach. The key things were, have a vision of the future, and then you can develop a smart solution. You can develop a sustainable software or a product. Today also, when I look back and I look forward to the future, I think creative thinking, ability to analyze, logical approach to the data which is coming in, and believe me, the amount of data that will come in will be huge, humongous, and still to extract, converting that data into information or a piece of important information will be again a role of a software developer which can apply the logic hand in hand with the technology. Am I?
Absolutely correct, Daniel.
Okay. So, do we have more questions? Do we have time, or how are we doing on time?
I think, considering the time at hand, I think we can take one last question.
Okay.
And the rest of the questions we might
take. And I'm assuming it will be for Mahesh and not me. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Yes.
Let's see the question first. So, okay, what's the difference between the Internet of Things and machine to machine, M2M, as you mentioned?
Okay.
Please elaborate.
So, this is like a very okay. So this is a very simple question as it seems. I mean, going by the simplicity of the question, but it is a bit difficult thing because I mean now I have started thinking whether M2M and Internet of Things are two different things or a synonym. Okay, let me think of it. So machine to machine clearly is a communication between a machine or a device and a remote computer. So it is like two machines interacting with each other. Machine to machine or M2M is about connecting a device to the cloud, probably managing that device and collecting machines and sensor data. In short, machine to machine is about connecting and communicating with a thing, and I'm saying thing in an inverted quote. So connecting and communicating with a thing, where a thing can be a machine again or a device or a sensor. So basically anything that can send data and anything that can receive data, and when I'm talking about thing, it is not a human interface. So that is what machine to machine is all about. As far as IoT is concerned, I think IoT goes beyond machine to machine. Rather, it goes beyond computers or computers connecting to things. IoT represents things connecting with systems, people, and other things. So the definition of things, if you ask, I would say things, I would say machine, devices, sensors, consumer products, vehicles, etc., etc. But when we talk about people, I would say the people are basically the users, the workers, the consumers of these products, employees, partners, customers, everything which has got a heart and a mind in place. So to conclude, machine to machine is not the Internet of Things. Rather, machine to machine is a subset of the Internet of Things. So Internet of Things is the superset, and machine to machine is one of the subsets of Internet of Things. I hope I have answered that.
Yes, very covered. Thank you. And so, thank you. We need to wrap up here. So today's webinar is being recorded, and everyone will receive an email with a link of to view this recording of the webinar, which will have the Q&A document as well. And finally, I will request all of the audiences to please fill up the short feedback survey form that will pop up on your screen once you exit this webinar. It will not take much time, but surely provide us an important insights on how to improve and what topics to choose from in the future. So thank you, and with this we will conclude